Hi, I'm Cheryl Dobberton, and I'm the Director of Secondary Education. One of the things we want to assure you is that this fall will be much different from last spring in three really important ways. First of all, students will have substantive daily interactions with teachers, and they'll follow their typical schedule. So if when your student is in school, they have English second period, when they're out of school, they'll have English second period, and they'll be expected to participate in English during that time, whether they're in school or not. We will be collecting attendance, and it will be reported to the New York State Education Department. And we'll also return to regularly scheduled grading periods. We're hoping to teach students to use their calendars, which you can see here on this slide, to keep track of when they're in school and when they're out of school, and the kinds of assignments that they have and when they're due. If you see this calendar, you may recognize it as one that you even use at work. It's just a life skill that we think our students need to have. There's three different types of instructional models that you should expect to see your student engaged in this fall. The first is simultaneous, where all students, whether at home or in school, are working directly with the teacher at the same time based on their schedule. The second is what's called a flip model, meaning students prepare for class and then the teacher uses class period to meet various students' needs. And the third is a project-based model, meaning that students are working on a long-term assignment and may meet with the teacher in small groups or individually to get support and check on progress. I'm going to talk about each of these models a little bit more deeply. What you see now is how class might look during a sample simultaneous model. Notice that on the chart, the students in the classroom are at the top and the students joining from home are at the bottom. Notice that in the opening of the lesson, all students join the class. We have some technology called Microsoft Teams that make it simple for kids to see their teacher and for the teacher to see their kids, all at the same time. The second part of the model involves engaging in learning tasks, and here's where it might look different at home or at school. But the teacher basically would set students to work on a task, and then the teacher would check in with various small groups. We have a technology called Nearpod, in which kids, no matter where they are, can answer a question, or take a quiz, or look at a video, or any number of things that would be happening if they were all together in the same classroom. By using Nearpod at home and in the classroom, students could be doing the same thing at the same time. And finally, in each class period, there would be a closing. And what we're hoping to help students do is use the closing time to organize themselves for what's due next or what they have to accomplish. And this would be the same whether kids were in school or at home. So simultaneous model basically means all kids doing the same thing at the same time, regardless of their location. The next model is a flipped model. And what that means is that kids watch a video or do some reading or something in preparation for a class period. And then when they're in their assigned class period, the teacher can differentiate their support based on what different students need. So the teacher might set students up in small groups and visit each of the groups as they're working together, keeping in mind that what I mean by working together is that kids are on their computers, probably talking to each other through something like Microsoft Teams. In this way, we're ensuring that students, whether in school or at home, are collaborating with each other and feeling those social connections that are so very important to our adolescents. A third possible model is this project-based model, where kids are working on something that takes a long time, like an essay or a research paper, or something they're doing for art class. In a project-based model, the teacher may not necessarily meet with every kid in every class session, but the teacher would use the calendar to let kids know when they're expected to be there and with what completed. And that way teachers ensure that kids have lots of time to work on things that are meaningful to them. Teachers might use additional models than these three, but we wanted to give you a sense of how class periods would unfold and the kinds of ways we're expecting to engage your secondary students. Please let us know if you have any questions.